So guys, hi. So is that the summary of the day? Yeah, I know there has been a lot of talk regarding this chat GPT, Copilot, GPT-3 and all. So this topic is all about, yeah, I started recording. Okay. So this topic is all about how you can revolutionize the customer services using Power Platform and the Copilot artificial intelligence. So as you know, like the Copilot is one of the latest feature that Microsoft introduced, and it is the collaboration with the Open AI. So today I'm going to discuss about that how you can improvise the customer service module of the Dynamic 365 using the Power Platform and the Chat GPT and the Copilot based AI integrations. Okay, so I also try to, ask myself with the chat GPT. So it's a good way to start to introduce myself. So when I ask my chat GPT, like introduce myself. So I'm a Microsoft MVP, 3 times awarded Microsoft certified trainer. I've been sharing knowledge with the community since 2019. And glad to announce, like I have started my speaking journey from the Brussels itself from I think 2019. So I'm here standing here today after 4 years and discussing about a lot of interesting stuff in front of you. But unfortunately, it did not had the information after the September 2019, sorry, 2021. So it doesn't have the information beyond the September 2021. So I need to add something that what I've been doing since then. So I'm leading the India Dynamic 365 group, and currently I'm working as a Power Platform architect in Capgemini, Sweden. And I've been writing blogs since 2019. So if you're interested to learn about Power Platform, so my area of interest is the Power Pages. Yesterday I conducted a full day training. Some of them I think attended that as well. So I've been sharing knowledge about the Power Platform components, and you can get in touch with me after the session on my channel arpitpowerguide.com. If you are interested to learn about the Power Pages, I have started this series called Power Pages 30 Days Learning Challenge, and it has end-to-end demonstration of all the capabilities from scratch to the deployment. So just check that out. Like I got a lot of good reviews on that. So if you wanted to learn that, you can just follow this Power Pages 30 Days Learning Challenge. And this is how a quick glimpse since 2019. I got a chance to meet a lot of interesting people. I got a chance to meet Neil as well, first time, but I couldn't put the picture here. So yeah, these are all the people. Last week I was in London and I got a chance to meet the Phil Topness as well, and had a lot of conversation related to the AI co-pilots and all. So yeah, that is the quick glimpse of all the journey I've shared with the community. So as far as the today's agenda, I just wanted to quickly tell you about the challenges that the customer services, all the industries are facing today's, and then how the Dynamic 365 customer service module provide all the features, and what are the omni-channel capabilities you can integrate with the Dynamic 365 customer service to enhance its capability, and then the Power Platform, and then we have the Copilot integrations. Okay, so that is the new one. All right, so if I talk about the customer service challenges, I'll quickly go through that. Will not take much time. So lack of self-service capabilities, as you know, like most of the organization today's faces this challenge that they don't have the self-service capabilities. This actually brings a lot of overhead or pressures on the call center agents and the internal employees who are working in the organizations. So self-service capabilities like, the portals, the chatbot capabilities, where you can reduce the human efforts. So nowadays we have the chat GPT AI integrations as well. So this is one of the major challenge that the currently industries are facing, the self-service capabilities. The second one is agents are normally busy doing a lot of non-productive activities instead of handling the customer queries. So for example, like if I'm interacting with a customer and I have to do a lot of things, like I have to write the emails after ending the conversation, like what are the conversation I had with the customer. I have to keep on remember that. If I'm interacting with the multiple the customers, I have to keep on remember in my mind that what are the conversation I had with that customer. So these kind of things we have to do it, and by doing that, we agents are not able to do the productive activities, not able to share the exact the answer of the queries. The third is right agent at the right time. You also face this kind of situation, like when you call the call centers, they keep on transferring the calls from one to another. So this actually makes a lot of frustrations for the customers as well. So it's always a good idea, like if you have some kind of mechanism when you call, or based on the skills, based on the sentiment, if your call is being transferred to the right agent, your query will get resolved soon, right? So this is also one of the major challenge. Don't have answers to all the questions, so you cannot predict like what kind of questions that customer can ask, right? So you can, organization invest a lot of cost on the, the training, through providing trainings as well, but you cannot predict, right? So sometimes you don't get, being a customer, you don't get the answers of all the questions as well. Work overload, that is also a major thing, like handling multiple customer through the multiple channels, and you have to deal with a lot of works dealing with the customer. Some customers can be interact with the emails, phone calls, chatting, so you have to deal with that as well. Supporting 24/7, that is also one of the expectations of all the organizations. Customer service cost, organization put a lot of efforts, lot of training cost to train the agents, and they have to keep them updating to provide all the necessary informations as well. Silo data in the operation, most of the time the same customer data is stored at the multiple applications. So the agent has to go to the different applications, switch over the tabs, switch over the machines to find the customer information. So if the information will be stored at the single place, it will be easy for the agents to find that information sometimes. So this silo data and operation is one of the major challenge. Now, how the dynamic 365 customer service provide the capabilities that mitigate all those challenges. Okay, so I don't want to dive deep into all the features, but this is the architecture of the complete customer service dynamic 365 process. That in the left side you can see there is a customers. So customers can interact with the dynamic 365 customer agents through a lot of channels. They can use either phone call, chats, or social media integration, Microsoft Teams, emails, and all. And there are some self-service capabilities that I'm going to discuss about that soon. And then the Microsoft has recently made the announcement that they have done the collaboration with the Nuance as well. So that it's basically helps them to provide the biometric authentication if you are using IVR and all. So this is basically used as a security middleware, and the agents has a lot of capabilities to use all the channels, like case management, knowledge management, FAQs. So these all the modules the customer service dynamic 365 provides. And on top of it, you have the Power Platform capabilities as well. So some of the features that you don't get it in the dynamic 365 customer service, you can anyways use the Power Platform components as well, like Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, Power Pages, and the Power BI reports as well. And sometimes you might need to interact with some other stakeholders, some other employees as well, to get the consultations. So you can anyways interact with the Microsoft Teams as well. Okay, and for supervisors, for the service manager who want to keep on monitoring that how the organization is performing, how the how the agents are interacting with the customers. So for example, like if I am the agent, I am interacting with the customers, and they are asking some of the questions that I'm not able to answer, right? So they will keep track of all those things using the customer insights and the analytics, and they can train the bots so that the bot can itself answer those queries. So as Ambesh told about, like we have the topics in the bots, Power Virtual Agents, where you can feed all the information that the bot can answer, but you cannot limit that. So sometimes customer is querying something that the bot is not able to answer. So the service manager can keep track on those questions, and they can and then can provide all the topics, and can teach the Power Virtual Agent so that they can quickly answer all those questions. Okay, so these all the capabilities that the Dynamics 365 customer service provides, and those all the features are grouped into five categories: enable self-service capabilities, optimize service operations, meeting customer where they are, and show them them, and make agents work effortless. Okay. Now I'll quickly go through that, like what are the self-service capabilities are there in the Dynamic 365. The first one is the conversational chatbot that Ambesh has just discussed about. It is a Power Virtual Agent chatbot. You can either embed that chatbot on the Power Pages, customer self-service website, or any external sites as well. The second is the IVR. So these features are not unique for the Dynamics 365. All the call center agents are using those features, but interacting with some other components like omni channels, Power Platform, Copilot AI, these kind of features make more power to the Dynamic 365 customer service. So IVR capabilities is there. So I'm going to showcase that IVR capabilities quickly. We have the knowledge management capability. So this is kind of self-service, like most of the time customers, asking simple queries with the call center agents, right? So what you can do is you can provide knowledge base on the self-service portal, so they can easily get the answer from the portal itself instead of interacting with the the call center agents. Self-service portal, that is also I'm going to show you quickly, that you can design your own portal. You don't need to write the code for that. It's a self-service portal I have just created yesterday only, and there is a new template that Microsoft has recently provided called FAQ. So you can just simply enable this template in your environment within few seconds. All right. So this is one of the self-service capabilities is there. Service operation is basically the analytics. If in your organizations, the higher management, the managers, they want to keep track like what is the organization performance, how the agents are performing, how they're interacting with them. So there is a Power BI report based analytics are there. So conversational analytics as well, that every conversation you are having with the customer, right? It keeps track by the agent, the analytics. So for example, what are the most common queries that customer is asking? What are the most common question that agent is not able to respond? Or sometimes, these monitoring and analytics are useful to find the right agents as well. Okay, so for example, you by the analytics you can understand, okay, most of the queries are coming related to the Power Apps performance. So what organization can do is they can hire some more people that are expert in the Power Apps related stuff. So these analytics help them to decide those things. Customer voice. So this is also the out-of-box features. You can integrate this module in order to take the customer feedback as well. So because feedback matters, and you can easily, for example, in the chatbot, in the Power Virtual Agents, everywhere you can integrate the customer voice, so that you can take the you can do the survey and can take the feedback from the customer. Meet the customer where they are, and today all the organization wants, like they can interact with the customer from all means of communication channel. So for example, like these kind of channel that out of box Dynamics 365 customer service provide, you can interact with the customer. You get the information through the text, SMS, social media like WhatsApp, Facebook. So Facebook integration, I'm going to show you quickly that how it works. Phone call integration, I will also show you. Live chat, I think you have also demonstrated, right, Ambes? Live chat, yeah. So live chat is like, you can embed the chatbot Power Virtual Agent on the self-service portal. And if the chatbot is not able to answer the queries, you can transfer the chat to the live agents as well. So this is the out-of-box features of the Omni channel. And if you, I think, joined the Neil session as well, he has also demonstrated that capabilities. Email-based integration, chatbot, and the website. So these all the digital channels that provides that are embedded within the Dynamic 365 customer service modules. Sentiment based routing. So sometimes it is necessary, like so for example, like I'm interacting, I'm on the self-service website, and I have a question related to the Power Apps, and my colleague has a question related to the Power Virtual Agents. Now if I am calling the call center agent, and if I'm telling them I have the Power Apps performance issues, and that customer is expert in the Power Pages, they will keep on transferring my call to the right agent, right? So what I can do is I can simply provide some of the questions before the customer can interact with the chatbot, and based on that you can do the routing as well internally, so that it will go to the right agent queue. Okay. Real-time translation. So it is basically the language translation it provides. So it supports the multiple languages, and then you have the resource scheduling capabilities as well, because sometimes you have to do some kind of services where the agent has to go to the customer location. For example, like you know about the IKEA, right? So I'm working with the IKEA customers, so I know like they have the use case, like for example, you are working for the IKEA customer, and they provide the designer kind of services. So for example, they schedule the agents or the resources. They go to the customer location and they fit all the furnitures on their kitchen and their bedrooms and their houses, right? So sometimes this organization needs that the resource scheduling kind of capabilities. So for that purpose also customer service can do the things. So them, you know them. So this is very important. Whenever I am calling in the call center agents, either through the calls or maybe through the emails, it's very important that call center agents already knows you based on the information you already have in the system, right? Instead of wasting the time to find the information in the system. So it also provides the 360-degree view. So out of box 360-degree view is also there, but if you don't want to use that, there is an enhancement is also available by using the module customer insight. So you can use the customer insight module that also provides, it actually brings the information from external databases as well and provide the 360-degree information so that customer agent will not have to go to the different application to find your information. So this is all about the customer insight. And then you have the customer journey analytics. So this was I was talking about. You have the customer insight available so that you will have the 360-degree view using this module. So this is the additional module. You have to purchase the license for it. It doesn't come with the customer service dynamic 365. Biometric authentication is also one of the most important part. Like when you are interacting with the customer, with the agents, you need to have some kind of security available so that there is no kind of impersonation is being done, right? So Nuance is the latest collaboration done by the Microsoft. Using that, you can simply enable some of the biometric authentication, like the OTP based authentication or some biometric authentications as well. All right, so if I talk about the Power Platform integration, so I'm going to demonstrate that capabilities as well. Like you can integrate Dynamic 365 customer service already have some of the capabilities as I shown you. But apart from that, sometimes some of the capabilities, it's not enough to fulfill the business needs or the requirement, right? So you can anyways interact with all the components like Power Apps, Power Automate, Virtual Agents, Power BI, and the Power Pages. Okay, so I'm all the components I'm going to show you quickly. What is the business use case that I have to use the Power Apps with the Dynamic 365? So let's say imagine you have to do the quality checks of call center agents, right? So for example, there is a dedicated team in the organization who want to check like how the customers, how the agents are interacting with the customers, and they provide the rating. And based on that, you can simply enhance the customer services with the customers, right? So quality check, if you can simply design the Power Apps and then feed the data in the system, and the service manager can monitor the data, and based on that they can design the decisions. And this Power Apps can be embedded on the model driven app forms as well. So this is one of the capability. I'll show that as well. Power Automate, so this is also the capabilities I'm going to show you. As you know, like we have the 800 plus connectors available. So if you want to bring the data from some external system without going or navigating away from the dynamic CRM application, you can use the Power Automate. So I'm going to show the demonstration of, let's say, you have the business use case. This customer is sending an email, and that email is basically in the subject or in the description, they are mentioning Power Apps keyword. So based on the incoming email, you will automatically create a case in the Dataverse and redirect it to the Power App Supports agent queue instead of just creating that information in the system and then manually reroute that information, right? So these kind of things you can do that. Power Automate also provide the AI builder capabilities as well. So it has a lot of capabilities and you can integrate with the Power Automate to provide more power to the customer service. Power Pages, so that is also integrated. As I told you, it's a self-service capability. So I'm going to show that how you can use the Power Pages with the customer service. How can we help? And this example scenario of Power Virtual Agent. Okay, so you can embed the chatbot with the customer service, and you can enable the proactive chat feature so that, for example, like I am on this website and I'm finding some information and I'm finding trouble to get the answer of my query. So this live chat support will automatically popped up on the screen, and you can simply write some of the script in the background, and you can get the context as well. Like customer is trying to search the Power Apps information, so you can simply pop that information, and you can see like this message. You can display the contextual basis as well. Okay. And of course, you have the Power BI capabilities as well with the customer service. So now if I talk about quickly the Chat GPT, OpenAI, and the Microsoft Copilot. So I know like this is there is a lot of, because I personally had a lot of confusion around this, like what is Chat GPT, what is Copilot, what is GPT-3, what is Bard. So Bard is basically the Google product now, OpenAI, and what is the difference between OpenAI and the Azure OpenAI services. So if I talk about the OpenAI, so OpenAI is a artificial intelligence research laboratory in San Francisco, and which is basically developing the advanced AI models. Okay, so OpenAI is not something that is the AI feature. It is basically the organization who is building all the Chat GPT kind of AI models. Okay. ChatGPT is a natural language processing technology trained by the OpenAI on a massive data set of text designed to engage in the human-like conversation and answer wide range of questions on the various topic. So it actually understands the natural languages. So whatever you are asking the question in your own languages, it answers the question back to in the human languages. All right. So this is about the ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is developed by the OpenAI. Now, it's not straightforward. There are something in the background which runs between the whatever question you are asking to the chatbot, and it process something and gives the answer back to the customer, right? So there should be some model behind it. So that model is basically the large language model called LLM. So LLM is the engine that runs in the background. So it actually generates the AI models. So basically there are some of the AI models which works in the background. So whatever question you ask, it goes to the AI model. AI model process that based on the data is stored, and then give the response back to the customer. Now this is the reason like the Chat GPT is not the Google search engine, because as I've shown you in my first slide, when I asked Chat GPT about me, it doesn't has the information after the September 2021. But when I will ask about myself on the Google, it has all the latest information about me. So this is the difference between Google search engine and the Chat GPT. And GPT and GPT-4 is nothing. It's just the name of the AI models that actually runs between the whatever questions you are asking to the Chat GPT. So they are the LLM based AI models developed by the OpenAI. Now, recently, what Microsoft did it, Microsoft has done the collaboration between OpenAI, and the name of that collaboration has a name called Azure OpenAI. So Azure OpenAI is nothing. It's just a collaboration between OpenAI organization and the Microsoft Azure. Now, why Microsoft collaborated with that? And I think there are a lot of confusion in the questions around this, like if the Microsoft is integrated with the Chat GPT, is the customer data is being compromised? Is my customer data is going outside my tenant or the organization to pass it to the AI model to process that information? So it's not, because it is basically uh, wrapped with the Azure based security. So OpenAI doesn't have any sort of security. But if you talk about the Azure OpenAI, it has the enterprise grade security. So for example, I have the Dynamics instance, and if you are using Azure Open API services, so whatever data you have in your tenant, it actually works or process within that only. All right. So this is the difference between ChatGPT and the Microsoft Copilot. It doesn't just connect with the Chat GPT, because Chat GPT is not just a chatbot. It actually available as a API as well. So anyone can consume that API to provide the chatting capability or to provide the artificial intelligence capability. So Copilot doesn't just connect with the Chat GPT, with Microsoft 365, Dynamic 365, and the Power Platform. It combines the power of LLM as well. So how you can understand better that how the Microsoft Copilot works. So I have just simply demonstrated that in this picture. So this is how the Copilot works, whether it's a Microsoft 365 application or the Dynamic 365 application or the Power Platform. Okay. So the Copilot actually works as a middleware between your data and the LLM. Now, how it works? First, Microsoft Copilot send so whenever you open any application, whether it's Microsoft 365 applications like your MS Word, PowerPoint, Excel, so you get to see a pop-up immediately when you open it, right? So you can simply provide the input in the natural language and it will go the stuff in the background that you are requested to that particular chatbot, right? So Microsoft 365 application or the Dynamic 365 application or the Power Platform, anywhere you are using, you get the pop-up. So that is the first thing. Microsoft 365 Copilot will give you the pop-up in the 365 application. Then the second that process is called user prompt, when you get the prompt in your application. Now in the background, it actually goes to the Microsoft Graph API, and whatever data you have stored in your Dataverse or in the Azure in any of the applications, like for example, I'm working in the Dynamics 365, but my data can be stored in other applications like Azure or in the Outlook or in the Microsoft Excel, in the OneDrive, in the SharePoint. So I cannot imagine like my data can only be stored in the Dataverse. My data can be stored across the applications. So sometimes you have to use the Microsoft Graph API as well. So it actually call the Microsoft Graph API and brings the data based on the customer, based on the user who is logged into the application, and it actually brings the contextual data. So for example, like I'm chatting with the customer. So when I'm chatting with the customer, it will always brings the data, whatever conversation I'm having with the customer. Okay. So this is the advantage of using Copilot. Now, once it did that, it sends that information to the LLM. So LLM, as you know, like it has a lot of AI models. So it passed that information because this information that is retrieved from the different sources, it can have structured data or the unstructured data both. Because your information can be stored in the record form, in the documents, in the images, everywhere, right? So it send this data to the LLM. Then LLM send that data in the natural language to the Copilot. Then Copilot again sends that data to the Microsoft Graph. Now, why it again sends that data to the Microsoft Graph? Because you need to ensure there should be security and the compliance should be in place. For example, like I am allowed to access only particular table in the Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Okay, so I should be only get the data from that table itself. So this actually ensure that whatever data I process from the LLM, it actually pass back to the Microsoft Graph, it apply the security, then it actually send that data to the customers. Okay. So this is how the whole process works between your application, your Microsoft Graph, or basically your database and the LLM. Not the thank you, but I have to show some demonstration as well. So first of all, I'll show you like whatever the capabilities that Copilot provides. So let me quickly show my environment. All right. So first of all, I'll show you like, so let's say I'm working in the organization where I have to set up the customer service. So first of all, you get to see this when I'm going to the Power Apps Maker portals on the home page. I have directly, so this is called a prompt I was talking about. Okay. So as soon as I open any application, I get a prompt. So now this prompt is basically whatever information I will provide here, it is passing to the LLM, and LLM will do the job in the background and will give me back the result back. Okay. So for example, I want to create a Canvas app, and in that Canvas app, I'm expecting like it will do the quality check of all the call center agents. Okay. So I will simply write the app requirement in my natural language. So for example, like create an app that will do the quality check of the agents. Capture. All right. So just simply provided the requirement and we'll hit the enter. So you can see like in the background, it actually making all this communication that I've shown you in the architecture. So you can see like it automatically created a table in the Dataverse. The application, the name of the table is quality check, and it has created an ID, agent name, customer name, conversation, rating, comments as well. So you can simply, if you are not happy with that, you can just simply go back, cancel it, and you can write it in more user-friendly way so that it can understand and create the app for you. Now, if I'll click on create app, it will automatically take me to that particular page and it will automatically create a mobile application for me. So you can imagine like if I have to create a mobile app or the tablet app, I don't even need to go to the database to set up the tables, to create the columns, relationship and all. It usually takes the time and it automatically create the Dataverse table and create the application for me. Okay, so meanwhile, it's taking time to create the app. And let me demonstrate the other capabilities. Okay, so it's loaded. Perfect. So now if I can run this app, you can see like it automatically design a temporary app. I can simply reuse this UI design or I can change the control as per my business need as well. But just to demonstrate the capabilities to your client, you can, if you are simply designing a POC or demonstration, just took, I think I hardly took 2 minutes of time just to create the Dataverse tables and this particular app. So now you can see here some sample data has also got created like ID, rating. You can provide the comments, customer name, and the conversation date that happened between the agent and the customer. So this is the one example of using Copilot, that how you can directly create the app using the natural language. The second example is in the Power Automate. Okay, so let's say sometime you need to write the business logic, and if you can simply convert your business logic in your natural languages, that you don't need to invest time on that. Okay, so for example, like if I head back to the flows, and if I just click on the new flow, there is an option called describe it to design it, right? So if I click here, I can simply provide the instructions to the flow that I need to implement this business logic. So for example, I've already copied this. So what I'm requesting to my flow, like create a flow using Copilot. Okay, yeah. Create a case for the customer who emailed me about the Power Apps issues. Okay, so if I simply enter this and ask the Copilot, it will give me the instruction that what connectors you can use it to create the app. So you can see like the first connector will be the Outlook. So when a new email arrives, and it will convert the email body to the text so that you can find the information. So for example, your customer can email about the Power Apps issues, the Power Virtual Agent issues. So you can simply want to filter that issue so that you can redirect to the right queue. And then you have the condition. So you can provide the conditions that whether it's a Power Apps issues or the Power Pages issues. And add a new row is basically, simply it's a Dataverse connector that actually helps you to insert the data in the Dataverse. So either you can directly use it by clicking on next, or you can ask the Copilot that this is not what I'm looking for, just generate some few more options. So based on that, I have already created a flow. I can quickly show that just to save the time. If I go back to my flows, so this is the flow I have created using Copilot. So what I have to do is I have to send an email. Okay, then it automatically check. It will automatically convert that HTML to text, and then it will check the condition. whether that particular email body has a Power Apps keyword. And based on that, it will use the connector, the list rows, because I want like whichever customer is sending the email, I will search that customer using the email address in the Dataverse, and then then create a case and associate the case with that particular customer. Okay, so that's why I'm using the list row. And here I'm simply providing the fetch XML just to retrieve the the contact based on the email address I got from the Outlook connector, or someone who sent the email. And then here I'm creating the record. Add a new row is nothing. It's just creating a cache. Okay, so probably I can quickly show that by sending an email. So I'm just sending an email with my personal email address. All right. So I have just drafted an email and will send it. So as soon as I get the email, so currently I'm sending an email on this particular email address. But in the actual business scenario, you can send this to a particular group email address where all the call center agents can track it. So let me go back. It will take time. Yeah, so it's running. Okay, so it succeeded. So if I go back to my Dataverse environment and open the, let's say, customer service hub. So I need to find the contacts. So I have sent the email with my personal email address. So contact. And I think this is the contact where I have provided my email address. So it will find the contact in the CRM. And then if I go back, if I check the cases associated with that, I have just sent an email, Power Apps issues. So it automatically created a case, right? And I can write another business logic to route it to the particular business queue, or I can notify as well. So this is how you can set up the Power Automate using Copilot. Now I will talk about the Power Pages site, Power Apps portals. Earlier we used to call it. So this is the Power Pages site I'm using. So this is not something that I have personally created. We have the templates available here. So if I head back to templates here, you already got a lot of templates provided by the Microsoft. So you can simply use those templates to kick off your the website development. So you can see here all the apps available. I've just taken this app an example, FAQ app. Okay. So if I simply go back to the home and edit my site. Now what I want to do is I want to create an inquiry form on my Power Pages site, just to demonstrate like how the Copilot feature is there in the website development. Okay, so I want to create a page on my website called inquiry. And I just choose the standard template, click add, and I want to create a form on the site. So I'll click on the form and it takes me to the Copilot application. Now in this Copilot, I can simply describe it it will automatically create a Dataverse table and will create a form. So what I want to do is I want to create an inquiry form where customer can ask queries related to Power Platform, Power Apps, Power BI, and Power Virtual Agent. So I just wanted to create a form where user can simply provide the information. So if I hit next, so it gonna create a new form in the background. And I have not provided the details like what fields I'm expecting, what fields you need to create, what should be the type of the data. It will automatically detect, and you can see like it has created an inquiry form, and it has automatically got created some of the attributes like name of the customer, email address, phone number, country, product. Since I have asked for multiple options, is automatically created a multi-option set options. So the issue is all about query. You can provide the descriptions, response, status. So like it is open or the close. And this all the information is there. Now if I click on OK, so it automatically created a Dataverse form. And now if I click OK, this is the form which is being added on the Power Pages site now. So this doesn't mean like you have to completely rely on that. So being a developer, it makes your job easy just to do the simple things, but you cannot be, you cannot, say it like, this can be, this particular AI can replace the developers, because you still need to do a lot of things on the forms. You have to write the validations, you have to write the designing code and all, you have to do the styling and all. So this is just a simple things that you used to do it manually, things like creating fields and all. This AI can do it in the simplistic manner so that you can do the other things using your development efforts, right? So now it's creating that. Okay, so while it's being created okay, it's already there, I guess. And I can set the permission as well quickly so that, it should be visible to the respective team. So let me sync this for now. So this is the Power Pages site that I've created just for the template, and you will see like inquiry form inquiries there on the portal. As I told you, like I have not configured the permission here. I need to set up the permission first. New permission, and I can provide the Grover access, delete, or provide the role to administrator, authenticated users. So earlier this restriction was not there. And recently with the introduction of the Power Pages Studio, Microsoft will not let you expose any Microsoft Dataverse table to the external audience. You have to provide the permission in order to access that. Yep, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if you want to try it out, you just need to create the environment in the US region. Yeah. And you have to request Microsoft, and it's going to take time around, because for me, it took around 15 days of time. So you can see like this is the form I just got created. Another example, two more example I just wanted to give you. The another example is for the chat widget. So I don't want to dive deep into that, but in the chat widget, what artificial intelligence features you can provide. So chatbot, as Ambes has told you, like you can teach the chatbot like what information you can respond to the customer, but there is no limit, right? What kind of information you can train to the chatbot? Chat the customer can ask any question. So can we integrate the chatbot with the chat GPT, right? So that it can give the answer of everything. So I've already opened this simple chatbot. And if we just head over to the settings and in the AI capabilities, if I go down, I have just added few sites here. Okay. So for example, if I ask any question to the chatbot that is not related to the topics that you can configure at the virtual table, virtual agent table, it can easily answer the questions which is given in this particular sites. So for example, this is the chatbot on my site, and I want to know about like what is Power Apps. Any random question I'm just asking with the chatbot. Okay. And if I hit enter, it will call the chat GPT API. It will call that particular, it will find that information on this particular links, and it will respond back to the customer. Okay, so this is also one of the way you can reduce the customer or the self-service, the call center agents overhead. You can provide this information. Some of the information you can already feed it, but some of the information you can provide it from this particular information. The last thing that I wanted to show you is the omni-channel integration. So omni-channel integration, I will show you the two features. One is the IVR. I'm going to call on one IVR number. It's a toll-free number. And when I will call it, I will get the notification within my the customer service environment. I will pick up the call and I will show you that how the co-pilot capabilities help the agents to find the answers. Okay. So for that, I need to head over to the customer service. So this is the workspace. I have to open it. Now I have to call you, Dipali. Could you please call? She is going to call on the number that is the toll free number and just put it on the speaker so that everyone can listen it. But you can see here, as soon as I open the customer service workspace, there is a co-pilot option is there. I want to talk to you.
I want to talk to agent.
Finger cross. So you can see I got the notification as a part of agent. Now just turn off this. Let's go there. So I need to accept this. Now, as soon as I accept that, the the call will be transferred to the agent now. Hello. Hey, hi, Deepali. How can I help you today? It automatically detects like he sees having the Power Platform issues. Okay, so just bear with me. I'm finding the information about you. Okay. So what I'm going to do it now. Being an agent, I will just go here. There is a co-pilot option for the agent, and I can simply click on this plug option. It will automatically check like what is the conversation is being done between Deepali and the Arpit. So if I click here, it will try to get the information contextually. If it is not able to find the information, I can anyways ask the co-pilot to provide the information. No, so this is the open Azure Open AI based integration. I have not configured anything here. It will automatically check in the background. Yeah.
Things really fast. It's this slow, is that not normal?
Yeah.
It normally comes up quicker than this.
Exactly. Yeah. Usually it doesn't take that long. but probably it's due to trial instance. That's why it's taking a lot of time.
Because everything else you did, the
Exactly,
answer
yeah.
came almost straight away.
Or probably I can directly type it here. Okay, so how to resolve Power Apps performance issue like this. So this is the option that you can get the contextual information based on the conversation I'm having with the customer. But it is the open one. It will go in the background and you can see like it bring all the information related to that. And I have directly an option called send to customer. So when I click here, it will automatically copy and paste it in the panel here. All right. So this is the one way of using Copilot. The second thing is that I am disconnecting this call. And I'm going to show you one more integration, that is Facebook integration. Okay. So for example, I've already opened here. And if I go to the messenger, and message, hi. So I got the notification from the Facebook also. So as soon as I accept that, so let's say I'm just putting the information. I have Power Apps performance issue. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I will simply ask the Copilot, please suggest the response. What should I respond, right? So if I click here, it will fetch the answer now. It also fetches the answer what I responded to the other customers as well. Okay, so I'm sorry to hear that can you please provide some more details about this issue? So what I'm going to do it, instead of doing that, I'll just copy it and will ask directly to Copilot. So this is again do the same thing. It will go in the background, find the answer, and you can revert back to the customer. Yeah. So it automatically auto-populate the customer details also. It's a trial environment. That's why it's taking time. Unfortunately, it was not working yesterday, but it started working today. So it can take time actually. But because it's an experimental feature, it's in the preview, so it can take time. Okay, so what I can do is I just wanted to show you one more use cases and it will work on that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm sending it to the customer. And you can see it automatically send it to the customer. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the chat. Okay. So as soon as I ended the chat, you can see there is a conversation summaries automatically auto-populated, right? So being an agent, I don't need to, because it's not like I'm interacting with the one agent. I can interact with the multiple agents at the same time. So I cannot I cannot remember like what conversation I had with the customer. So it automatically created the conversation summary, what question the agent has, the customer asked, what I responded, and you can just simply create a case. So if I click on the create case, it will automatically auto-populate all this information in the description like this, and I can immediately create the case in the background. So this is the one way of using Copilot. And another way is doing it is because right now there are two features I would say three features. One is the feature is ask a question, and that question could be anything, and it could be the contextual information as well. So whatever the conversation I had with the customer. The another option is the write an email. Okay, so for example, like I'll just simply open this case. And after my conversation is done with the Dipali, I just wanted to send an email to probably get more information or maybe for the follow-up call. So what going to do is I'll simply go to the timeline, click plus and email. Okay. So as soon as the email window will open, the write an email copilot option is popped up. Now it is suggesting me like, do you want to suggest a call with the customer, request more information, empathize with the feedback? So for example, I will provide request more information. So if I click here, it will automatically generate a complete conversation I already had with the customer, and it will also bring all the the contextual information as well. I don't need to even remember as well. So I'll simply go here, copy it, and you can see here it automatically pasted in the chat, in the email template. I can anyways update that information and can send it to the customer, right? So these are the two features. One is the ask a question, conversation summary, and write an email. So these three features that Microsoft has recently incorporated as part of the customer service, just to improvise it. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening to me. If you have any questions, please ask me.